This is the world of Coca-Cola. We visited here on December 28th, right between Christmas and New Year's. World of Coca-Cola is not just a museum, not exactly a factory tour either, but a carefully designed experience built around the brand, the history, and a soda that somehow exists everywhere in the world at once. In this video, we are walking through the entire experience, from the queues and exhibits to the parts that genuinely surprised us. No rushing, no highlights skipped, just what it's like to spend a few hours inside the world of Coca-Cola on one of the most busiest weeks in the year. Let's begin. To enter, you'd need to buy a ticket, which is about $26 per person. As you enter, you go through the security checkpoint.
You guys, go straight.
After crossing it, you're presented with a photo booth to get your pictures taken. The next room runs on a batch entry with a countdown timer to avoid overcrowding. After entering the assembly room, we met the maker of Coca-Cola, John Pemberton. Turns out he isn't much of a talker, but he did extend his cup to toast to us, which completely reminded me of DiCaprio from The Great Gatsby. Anyways, the next room is called the Loft, where nearly 200 historic and international artifacts are kept, which date back over 135 years.
So, my name is Kayla. I will be your ambassador to this room. As I said before, this is your first and last time in this room, so do not be shy. Take pictures and videos in this room as I talk.
This ambassador explains everything in this room. Like the signage that says Coca-Cola Company was hung in front of the company headquarters from 1920 to 1979. This vending machine, which is one of the earliest production units, is still kept here. The oldest artifacts present in this room is this Coco-Cola Urn, which is from 1890. Interesting fact about this is, it was given out as a loan with Coca-Cola syrup in it to vendors who sold over 100 gallons of soda a year. Pretty fascinating. From there, you're guided into a cinema room where 6-minute long short film called Moments of Happiness is played. This video is curated by real life scenes around the Coca-Cola brand worldwide.
No photos, videos, or streaming. No photos, videos, or streaming inside Loft in. With that being said, just sit back, relax, and enjoy.
It is a little emotional at the end, not what you'd expect when you think of Coca-Cola movie. After the film, you arrive at this central junction, where the museum branches out into multiple themed exhibits. You can explore them in any order, but we decided to start from the beginning, literally. The Vault. Here you're welcomed through a pretentious security system. I feel like this was set up to distract the people from long queues. But we definitely did have some fun getting the system to focus on us. Later, you walk through the history of Coca-Cola.
Yeah. That's his notes. Yeah. That's his house, very first year.
See this.
Open. Okay, it's not here. Where is it? The magic formula.
This room has the complete history in chronological order, from the discovery of the original syrup followed by the sales at Jacob's Pharmacy, and how this recipe somehow made its way to a bank in New York as a collateral for a loan, and how it finally made back to its home in Atlanta in 2011. There are these stories how even other countries claim for their rights on the original syrup for Coca-Cola, and also a small snippet about how the syrup made its way to India as well. This is the vault. It is not a fake setup, but an actual vault that contains the written formula on a piece of paper by John Pemberton himself from the year 1888. After learning about the history, our next exhibit was the studio. This is the place where all the paraphernalia with Coca-Cola branding is displayed, like these handbags, sculptures, or a collaboration between Coca-Cola and Star Wars. But the most unexpected one was a cruiser from 1996. This exhibit was like a walk along the history of the branding and marketing that seared the image of Coca-Cola in consumers' mind. The branding and marketing of Coca-Cola is so creative that it has infiltrated so many sectors like music, sports, and entertainment. For example, these merchandise from Olympics, F1, Star Wars. It's just amazing that how a brand that sells sodas can be involved with so many sectors. And this room is the testament of that. Anyways, this exhibit continues to a showcase area where every iteration of bottle design made by Coca-Cola worldwide is displayed. Some design look familiar to what we've seen. Some look tastefully curated. But some just straight up puzzling, like a denim Menkes bottle, really? Who designed it? Oh, on second thought, it does look cool. Anyways, so right behind the showcase is a recording studio. Here we get to create a tune with the help of this digital DJ equipment. And if you'd like, you can even upload it so you can access it later. But since our music creativity is so amazing, out of the fear of becoming very famous very quickly, we were forced to make a tough decision and keep the music to ourselves. Shh. After that, we try to check if our skills are any good with designing a bottle label.
Wrap. Red? Or do you want to see it in another color? Okay, we'll just go with that. Red. Oh my god, oh my god.
You can do size also on the right.
Oh. And we have logo. Okay. Cha-ching.
You know, they say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So for the sake of not sleeping on the couch tonight, I say this is the best bottle design I have ever seen. Now, after designing these labels, we had to rinse and fill the bottles. This is an interactive and fun game. Press and hold, press and hold.
Okay, first press and then
Press.
I can't. First I need to stop it. Oh.
Press and hold. But since we scored so low, obviously, we had to blame the screen for lagging and being so slow. You can't be a Coca-Cola factory worker, sorry. Next exhibit is Beverage Lab. Not that one. This one. As soon as you enter this lab, there are screens that display all the types of beverages that Coca-Cola creates. Like, did you know Coca-Cola creates the Fairlife milk products? Because I didn't think a soda company would ever be involved in dairy products. After this information section comes the lab itself. This lab is created to make us understand the physical properties of curating a drink. There are three main ingredients: texture, taste, and appearance. So, on the first kiosk, you create your formula, and then on the other kiosk, it dispenses the drinks. In theory, you design a custom drink using different flavor profiles, but in reality, because of this crowd, the flavor you design might get overwritten by the next person before you can even reach the dispenser. So when we dispensed the sodas, it was completely different from what we had selected. Where is 100 plus choices?
100 plus, I mean, this is the 100 plus choice.
It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, try it. Okay.
There's strong taste, but the aftertaste is good. Okay, now this is good. I like this. Fruity, citrus, and spice. It started tasting like Fanta, but then
It is fun, huh?
then there is cough syrup.
Still, it was really fun judging the person who created these flavors. The last thing to try here was the new Coke from 1980s. The one that had disastrous failure. Oh, the new Coke, okay. New Coke. Not bad. I mean, it's too watery.
It's good. Trust me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 11.
Right after the lab comes the scent discovery. Here, first we get to play a game. The stations here have multiple buttons on them, and each button diffuses a scent. And we have to guess what kind of ingredients are present in the scent.
Starting with C1.
It is designed to show how smell influences taste and how Coca-Cola experiments with sensory science when developing a new drink. After the game, there is a quiz that explains how the aromas can fuse to form a picture in mind.
We got elderflower and we got lime. So what season do we think of? Put these all together. You said spring, you are correct. So very nicely done, guys. Thank you all for playing.
After the game, we are led to the area where all the fragrances used in Coca-Cola sodas are stored as a library. We have to sniff and check which soda the fragrance belongs to.
It's very familiar.
Yeah, lemongrass.
Oh, lemon.
The last exhibit is Taste It. This is the exhibit that we loved the most and had the most fun. Coca-Cola around the world. Here we get to sample a dozen of Coca-Cola beverages from different countries. Each with flavors you'd never expect, like herbal or spiced, and some just confusing ones.
It's just water.
This is water.
Everything is over. Oh, it's working. Thumbs up.
Taste the thunder. Long time no see.
Okay. Yes, just the way I remember it. Which one? I'll take this one. Fanta. I'll go kiwi. This is so green.
Incredible hunk.
I like this.
Fresh pineapple juice.
Really?
You can get used to it.
From China. Yeah, this is no.
Finally, we wrapped up the visit at the Souvenir store, which is massive. Everything you can imagine is available here, like caps, t-shirts, bottles, collectibles, fridge magnets, all Coca-Cola branded. I picked up a cap and Meg bought a t-shirt, which, fun fact, turned out to be a perfect addition for our next stop in Savannah.
Hey, so finally done. The World of Coca-Cola. So there was a surprise bag, small, large, and medium. I took the small one, so I don't know what came in. So let's see.
Then open my notebook. Okay.
Apparently, this is something that they don't carry in the store. So.
Overall, the World of Coca-Cola isn't just a museum. It's a well-designed experience, especially if you enjoy branding, history, or interactive exhibits. Crowded? Yes. Worth it? Also yes.